everything that you do not know, have the basic humility to see that I do not know. Only when you see I do not know, there is a possibility of knowing it. When you say describe God, you have a firm assumption that there is somebody sitting up there. This assumption has created enormous pain and suffering to human beings on this planet. Probably maximum number of lives have been taken on this planet in the name of God. Most horrible things on this planet have been done in the name of God. Simply because the fight in the world is not between good and evil. Even today, the wars in the world is not between good and evil. It's always between one man's belief versus another man's belief. The moment you believe something that is not a living experience for you, you're already in conflict with somebody else who believes something else.
Here in Vietnamese, we call cái nón. And French people say, no, it's c'est un chapeau. And American people say, no, it's a hat. You are wrong. It's not cái nón, it's a hat. But that is that reality. I call cái nón, you call hat, other call chapeau. So God is that reality of greatness, of beauty, of growth. Wherever you see great understanding, wherever you see light, where you see peace and love, that is God. And that is Buddha.
If you want to seek, when you say God, you're talking about the source of life. Why this idea of God has come to you is, when you were born and you opened your eyes, all this creation was already on. So you assumed, if so much creation has to be there must be a creator. So if there is something called creator, if there is a force or a person or a thing which is creating all this, where can it be? Wherever it may be, if you look at the function of the existence, you can see, if it is there, it must be everywhere. If it is everywhere, it cannot be an entity. So the only way you could approach it is, for example, yourself, if you look at yourself, when you were born, you were only this much, and now you became this much. How did all this happen? Did somebody stretch you from outside? That which you refer to as the creator is constantly functioning within you, creating all this. So if you really want to know what is the nature of the creator, you must turn inward.
And the higher self is most accessible in the heart. There is, according to the Sufis, there is in the heart an innermost chamber of the heart that belongs only to God. And if you go there in meditation and prayer, you are with God. It is a place of oneness. There the lover and the beloved are one. But God can be found everywhere. There is a lovely practice by Brother Lawrence, the practice of the presence of God. He was a monk in, I think, the 16th century. And whatever he did with God. He worked in the kitchens. He hated working in the kitchens. But whatever he did with God. He peeled the potatoes with God. He washed the carrots with God. God is everywhere.
Well, we can't wrap our intellect around that kind of concept, but we can reach out to it in love by hanging out with this presence, that is to say, awakening to the divine presence within us, by thinking of God. And it seems that God is so appreciates the slightest attention from human beings, and is always listening, and always responds to any sincere cry for help. Though he doesn't always take away our problems, which usually everybody would prefer, he has another way of reacting that is most people haven't quite grasped yet, and that is he gives us something better than fixing, and that is joining us in the situation, so that we become united with God in our difficulties and participate in what seems to be the great adventure or purpose of the universe, which is bringing the whole of the human adventure to happiness. And so our efforts, our good thoughts, our good actions are collaborating with the divine goodness in trying to bring divine happiness into human life and the ultimate purpose of creation, from this perspective, is the transformation, not just our improvement as human beings, however desirable that is for our relatives and friends, but a recreation. In Scripture it's called the new creation, in which by grace we anticipate the ultimate purpose of God in creating, which is to share the maximum amount of divine life, light, and love, knowledge, and happiness that we can possibly receive.